So I meant to get a video of this before I removed the engine, but some stuff down here was fighting me and I didn't get it all. So I'm just going to do it now. I'll give you kind of a view from underneath and what you need to do. There is basically 5 tranny bolts on this side. There's 2 down below, 5 on that side, and the 2 on this side, that one right here and then the one above it have nuts on the back side, so they're kind of a pain. And then there's 2 on the top of the transmission that you also have to get, but those are pretty easy to get to with the intake removed. And then the other thing is this transmission harness and all these wires down here will come out with the motor, so that we can avoid taking the whole harness off or removing the transmission. So you got these wires here, then they come down to this box here. That's your O2, and this is your other front O2. Just unplug those, leave the O2s in for the front O2s. And then you've got the crank sensor hole up here. Make sure you remove that before you try to take the engine out, because there's a reluctor wheel on the flywheel, and when you go to pull this thing out, you kind of got to angle it up and you can snap it off. So just remove it. Then you've got this wire here, that goes to your oil level cinder. And you got a couple more. Those will go to your rear O2s, which you do got to remove those to keep them out of the way when you're pulling this out. And then you got one more wire here that comes up, and it's kind of a twist lock style connector. You just push up on this tab and then it'll rotate and unlock. And then obviously you're going to drop your exhaust. This is the part that fought me. You got 4 bolts, 2 on each side. The studs broke off when I was removing it, and I had to punch those out with a torch and an air hammer, but it's all good now. And then also you've got the easiest way to do this is to just leave the tranny lines attached to the engine. So just undo this nut here, pop those out, and leave them on the engine. Then you got to remove them from the oil cooler or the tranny cooler that's connected to the radiator. But that's pretty much it under here. Oh yeah, and then this, I guess, is pretty important. You got your flywheel bolts, which you get through the engine side. I believe they're a 17mm. Pretty much all the tranny bolts are E12s, aside from the top 2 are E10s. There's 4 torque converter bolts, which are the ones in this hole. And then before you go to pull the engine out, pop this right here off, and set a jack stand here to hold the transmission up so it doesn't try to fall down, because there's really not much holding this transmission up besides this rear mount back here. Other than that, I will attach a few photos of the engine coming out just to kind of give you a better idea. But the starter doesn't actually physically have to come all the way out. There's 2 tranny bolts up there. Those go into the starter, but you just remove the bolts and the starter will come out with the engine, and then kind of just slide back in when you put the engine back in. Comes out with the harness attached to it. Other than that, I guess before you would be able to see it this way, there's obviously a engine cover here and up towards the front, but that's pretty much it. Sorry about the crappy freaking video quality, but I'm laying underneath the car trying to show you everything, but that'll pretty much wrap this up. Like I said, I'll attach some photos of the removal process and some of the other stuff that I had to do. And enjoy. Thanks for watching.